Hare Krishna. So, warm welcome to all the devotees for our weekly satsang program. Uh, we are continuing our discussion on the Shrimad Bhagavatam, third canto, second chapter. If you recall, about 2 weeks back, two sessions back, we had said that we will get into a little bit of detail. So, the conversation between Uddhava and Vidura, where Uddhava starts telling Vidura about the pastimes of Krishna in chronological order. Though he was asked about actually the passing of, he was supposed to talk about the passing away of Krishna, but as we said, it is painful for the devotees to talk about the disappearance of Krishna. So therefore, he said, "Let's start with the appearance." So he spoke about the appearance. Then after that, and then we said that we'll get a little bit into detail in these verses. Each of these verses, there's a lot of nectar in here because this is pure Krishna Katha. Of course, not to say that when we're talking about the evolution of the universe, creation, primary creation, secondary creation, we're talking about any other thing. Anything in Shrimad Bhagavatam is Krishna Katha. Bhagavad Gita is Krishna Katha. But still, when we come actually start talking about the pastimes of Krishna, Balram, and his Gopas and Gopis, and that becomes even more sweeter. It becomes Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashoda Nandana. He is Braja Jana Ranjana, one who entertains and who pleases the heart. The Brajavasis' hearts are exploding with with pleasure and with love because of the experience of interacting with Krishna. So when we discuss these pastimes, it becomes very sweet. So we felt that it would make sense to go into a little bit more of detail in these particular verses. So last time our Prem Hari Prabhu gave a very beautiful class where he spoke about this pastime of gifting, the birthday of Krishna. So there's a lot of sweetness, there's a lot of nectar that lies in Krishna's pastimes. Of course, we are like the dwarf, while someone may feel, the person who is preaching is in some way, qualified. But no, actually, there is no qualification that we have to discuss Krishna's pastimes. We are not on that level. We're just not. We're just not there. There's too many anarthas in our heart. There's too many faults in our behavior. There's too many mistakes that we keep committing. But still, uh, by the grace of Guru, by the grace of all the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, we can try to just repeat what we have heard. Like Premari very beautifully brought out this point also last time. He said that I am not telling anything from my own, I am simply repeating what I have heard from my Guru and what I have read in certain books. So I'm also going to try to follow in the footsteps of Premari Prabhu and repeat, some of these beautiful pastimes. And this particular verse that Prabhuji was covering last time, 3.2.27. So us discussing with him, and we felt that there's still a lot in that purport which can be covered maybe over one or two classes. So at least one aspect of it I thought I will cover today, which is about Sakhya ras, this rasa of friendship between Krishna and his friends. So if you see the conventional understanding of God in the, let's say, 99.999% of the world's population, conventional understanding of God is what? Oh, many people say there is no God. Those who accept that there is a God, they say, oh, he is some power. He's just some, Bhagwan sab jagah hai, he's everywhere. And he's just some powerful personality. He is just some powerful personality. And ठीक है, मतलब कोई खास है नहीं, nothing great about him. So they tend to minimize the position of the Supreme Lord. But if you see, the Vedic concept, okay, it actually elevates us from one, it starts us from a particular position, takes us all the way to the deepest understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. I've referred to it on a few occasions where they go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Actually, the starting point of that conversation between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, what is the goal of life? What is the what is the highest destination? What is the best thing that one can aspire for? And he starts by talking of varnashram dharma. That is the first thing he says. Varnashram, doing one's duty in varnashram, that is the greatest thing. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just flicks it off, dismisses. This is just some external thing you're telling me. I'm not impressed. Tell me more, right? And if we analyze what is the position of, as I said, 99.999% of the world's population, they are not even on that grihasthashram, they are not even on the varnashram platform. They don't even accept, they don't understand it. So what to speak, so it's like for us, while we may have access to these pastimes and access to the understanding of these different rasas like shanta ras, dasya ras, sakhya ras, vatsalya ras, madhurya ras, we may have some theoretical understanding of it, but really we don't really understand. Okay. But still, in this mood, we try to explain a little bit whatever based on what we have heard from the Acharya and what Srila Prabhupada and his disciples I mentioned in the purport. So I'll just, quickly give you a flavor of what is being said, okay, in this particular pastime and in this particular verse and what is there in the purport. So let me just share my screen for a moment. You can see what is said over here. So it is said that in his childhood, the Almighty Lord was surrounded by cowherd boys and calves, and thus he traveled on the shore of the Yamuna River through gardens densely covered with trees and filled with vibrations of chirping birds. Okay, so I will just come straight to this paragraph which is spoken about over here. There are many aspects of this purport as Premari Prabhu and I were discussing, but today I'll cover just one. These cowherd boys were great, because the Lord was a child. He was put in charge of the calves with his cowherd boy friends. These cowherd boys were great rishis and yogis in their previous births, and after many such pious births, they gained the association of the Lord and could play with him on equal terms. Equal. Okay. Such cowherd boys never cared to know who Krishna was, but they played with him as a most intimate and lovable friend. They were so fond of the Lord that at night they would only think of the next morning when they would be able to meet the Lord and go together to the forest for cowherding. So the next few paragraphs talk about many other such beautiful, intimate aspects of the Lord's pastimes with his, devotees. So we'll look at that maybe subsequently or whatever. But just let us focus a little bit today on what is this Sakhya ras. Ye Sakhya ras kya hai, and how is it different from the other rasas which are there, and as practicing sadhakas, as I said, हम लोग तो ऐसा जूनियर केजी, कोई नर्सरी में है, कोई जूनियर केजी में है, कोई सीनियर केजी में है, and these are topics concerning PhD level, double doctorate kind of level subjects. So therefore we may get a little bewildered, we may get a little confused. That's all right, because by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, he has given us an access to this understanding. We may not understand it, but we can at least touch it to be purified. We may at least speak about these beautiful rasas, so that we are purified by hearing about them. So there are 5 of these primary rasas. Okay, they're called shantaras, shantaras, dasyaras, sakhyaras, vatsalyaras, and madhuryaras. So let's talk about some of these rasas that we understand what we're getting into. Today I'll try and end quickly. We started early because there is a lecture by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, my spiritual master. He's going to be speaking at 7:30 p.m. On it's being streamed live on Zoom and YouTube. So the link to that also can be sent. Whoever has it can just send it on the group. That starts at around 7:30, 7:40. It will start. So I will try my best to try and finish by that time. So those devotees who want to attend that can join there. So the Shantaras is what? Shantaras is where one, worships Krishna or loves Krishna or serves Krishna, but in a very, it's like there is no interaction per se. Okay. So examples that are given of Shantaras are like the land of Vrindavan, the water of Yamuna, the cows, the flute of Krishna, the garland that he's wearing, the flowers on the garland on his neck, the trees. If you see in the pastime of the Yagyapatnis, there just before that pastime, Krishna actually glorifies the trees of Vrindavan. He says that how pious are these trees, how wonderful are these trees. So even the trees are, which are living entities in the holy land of Vrindavan, they are also serving Krishna in the Sakyaras. Their relationship, sorry, in the Shantaras, their relationship with Krishna is that of neutrality. It's just a, okay, I'm there in Krishna's pastimes as, in serving in some way. That's it. So that is the Shantaras. When one adds a little bit more intimacy comes in the relationship, when intimacy is added to the Shantaras, then it becomes dasyaras. Dasyaras means the mellow of servitude, that I want to serve the Lord. And now in that service, naturally there is some feeling of awe and reverence, that, oh, you are great, you are God, you're the supreme personality of Godhead, I must serve you. And there is a little bit of fear also, that, oh, he's God, so I must be careful, I must behave myself in his presence, I must not cross the line. So that feeling of what do you say, fear is there, fear, awe and respect is there, of the master, because in such a relationship, the Lord is considered as master. So the mood that Srila Prabhupada has given all the sadhakas, we are all doing sadhana bhakti. We are not gone to that, raga noga bhakti stage yet, and it may take maybe this lifetime, maybe many lifetimes, but we are not on that platform. So we serve the deities, we serve the Lord in this mood, in the mood of dasanu das. So dasya ras is the mood, predominant mood, in which all the devotees within ISKCON try to serve Krishna. And then over, with purification, when we are completely purified and we come to the point of pure spontaneous devotional love to Krishna, then maybe our genuine constitutional position with respect to the Lord will be revealed, where maybe, a different rasa may be revealed, a different mellow of interaction with the Lord may be revealed. But in the interim period, in the beginning stages of our bhakti, we do try to serve the Lord in this kind of dasaras. So what is the example of this? The Gopas who wanted to serve Krishna by bringing things for him, they would assist Mother Yashoda sometimes in dressing Krishna, or they would massage his feet if he was very tired. He would be lying down very tired, and then they would massage his feet. So this is that Dasyaras. We see Hanuman also is in Dasyaras with Lord Ram. So the only time when Hanuman came, little bit intimate, close to Krishna, to Lord Ram, was when he brought the message about Mother Sita. He brought the message about Mother Sita, that I have found Mother Sita. And there also the Acharyas tell a beautiful story, that when Hanuman, when he flew back, he was the last hope. All the other parties had come back, from different parts of the world. They had searched and they couldn't find Mother Sita. So now the one party which went south, Hanuman was there in that party, and Lord Ram was most hopeful that somehow Hanuman will find. He was like the last hope. So Hanuman, when he came back after finding Mother Sita and reassuring her that Lord Ram will come to get you. And when he comes back, the Acharyas explained that he did not tell, when he came in front of Lord Ram, he did not say, I found Sita. He didn't say that, I found Sita. He said it in a different way. Okay, he said in a different way. Uh, he said, he changed the grammar of the sentence to say, found Sita I. So normally we say, I found Sita. He changed the grammar to say, found Sita I. Why? Because if he said I, then Lord Ram, if he started a sentence with I, Lord Ram said, I what? Then I found. So by that time, the anxiety is too much. Lord Ram, I don't want to put him in so much anxiety that I found Sita. So he started by saying found, mil gayi. So Lord Ram is immediately really found and immediately says Sita. And then last is I. Found Sita. I found Sita. So this is the mood that the servant has towards the Lord. I have to please my master. I have to serve him to the best possible mood at any point of time they want to serve. There is a mood of awe and reverence of the Supreme Lord. So at that point, the Lord came and embraced Hanuman. So that is the only incident we see where the Lord and the servant, little bit of intimacy was there, but Hanuman never allowed that to change that relationship. No, 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 no. I am your servant and I will always stay your servant, right? Then if you see, so this is even the demigods, all the demigods like Brahma, like Surya, Chandra, Indra, all these demigods, they are also serving Krishna. They are also servants of Krishna. But in what mood? They serve the Lord in this dasyaras. They're very clear that they are servants of Krishna, right? And therefore they serve Krishna in that mood always, not in some ki, put an arm around Krishna and chala yaar, samajh le yaar, thoda galti ho gaya. No, there is that awe and reverence because that is the mood, that is the relationship that they have, and that relationship that that living entities have with Krishna. Each one has a unique relationship with Krishna in a particular rasa. While we are in this material world, we have no relationship, we have no love for Krishna, we have no understanding of who is Krishna. But when we are purified by the process of devotional service, by the process bhaktya ananya, what is that? Bhaktya mam tu janati. Only by the process of bhakti we can know Krishna. There is no other means. Krishna himself says in the Gita that the only way or only means of knowing me is through the process of bhakti. So through the process of devotional service, by and by we will be purified, and by and by we will understand what is our unique relationship with Krishna. Srila Prabhupada said, don't try to jump the gun. Don't try to, pile think that, oh, let me meditate on the bhava of a gopi and all that. Don't do all that. That is all stupidity. It is moving towards sahajya. Sahaj means what? Cheap, easy. So it's not so easy to just capture Krishna and get into that mood. It's not possible. So therefore we serve in the dasyaras, and all the demigods also serving in the dasyaras. Now in the case of dasyaras, what is missing? See, in the case of shantaras, there was one thing missing, which was intimacy. In the case of dasyaras, what is missing? The lack of confidence. So in this dasyaras, there is no confidence. There is always awe and reverence and fear. I Supreme Lord Baba, I can't, So there is no confidence. But when the devotee, a little more advanced devotee than the dasyaras, okay, actually, in one sense, we say that really one who is serving in shantaras, it is not that they are less advanced than someone who is in vatsalya. It's just that that is their mood, and Krishna adores them in that mood. So the cows of Vrindavan, Krishna adores them. They are very dear to him. Tulsi Maharani is very, very dear. Tulasi Krishna Priyasi. Namo Namaha. We worship Srimati Tulsi Maharani because she is very dear to Krishna. And Tulsi Maharani is in Shantaras, but still we worship her, right? So there's not like a hierarchy that way, but we just understand that there are differences in the mood. So between Dasya and Sakhya, what is missing? Confidence. So the devotee who has confidence, when he has nothing to fear, he's not afraid of Krishna. He considers the Lord and himself on the same level. Now you think about it, that in any other spiritual system of the universe, it is always whatever one may do, it never goes beyond dasyaras. Mostly it is shantaras, sometimes it is dasyaras. There is no spiritual system in the world which goes beyond this. Nothing except the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So we have to understand what we have. हमारे पास जो है, हमारे पास इतना rare jewel है, लेकिन वो अपने को easily available है. मतलब ऐसे हम लोग अरे अरे प्रेम से बात करते हैं, अरे कृष्ण की लीला, we talk as though it is something very easy, and very commonly available, but it is the most exalted understanding of what is God, how God comes down to the level of individual living entities like you and me. Why? To reciprocate. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajamyaham. Krishna says in Gita that as one approaches me, I reciprocate accordingly. So if someone approaches in that Sakhiras, Krishna reciprocates like that. He doesn't doesn't slap them and send them away. What do you think? You're equal to me? Hato, bhavo yaise. He doesn't do that. He reciprocates in the same mood. If a pure devotee who's purified himself approaches the Supreme Lord in Sakhya Ras, because that's just coming naturally from his heart, that he wants to serve Krishna like a friend. He sees Krishna as an equal, doesn't see him as God. It's a very exalted, esoteric understanding. Remember, this is not something that is very easy or casual to understand. It's a very, very esoteric understanding of the Supreme Lord, where you see the Lord as equal. So when you see the Lord as equal, at such a time, the devotee is fully convinced that Krishna is a friend. And he cannot at all be, Krishna is not going to be dissatisfied. At any time, if I stay with Krishna as an equal, उसे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. Krishna is not going to feel कि अरे यार ये क्या है यार, ये मेरे लेवल पे आके बात कर रहा है. Like you see, sometimes we say that after the age of 15, the child should be treated as a friend. But sometimes the child talks to us like equals. जैसे क्या तू मेरा equal जैसा बात कर रहा है क्या? Immediately our ego, our false ego उभर के आता है, where we feel कि अरे how you can talk to me like an equal? I'm your father. Do you understand who I am? I'm your father. The Supreme Lord is not like that. Krishna is not like that. If someone talks to him like an equal, he is very pleased by that, because everyone else is serving him in Shantaras and Dasyaras. If someone comes to that level of purification and that genuine mood of equality with the Lord, then Krishna is very pleased with that. He does not get dissatisfied. He doesn't feel that this person is treating me on an equal level. This understanding is called Vishrambha. So Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion, he explains it's called Vishrambha, which is devoid of a respectful attitude. There's no place for respect in this. यहाँ पे कोई respect की जगह नहीं है. This is equal. Sakhiras means friendship. So this rasa is predominant. So the Shantaras and the Dasyaras are seen in the material and the spiritual world of Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha, where Lord Narayan, where Lord Vishnu resides. There you will see the Shantaras, you will see the Dasyaras. Sakhyaras, does Sakhyaras exist? Does vatsalya ras exist? Does madhurya exist in Vaikuntha? No. So in Vaikuntha, Sakhya ras does exist to a very small extent. That is called Gaurava Sakhya. Gaurava Sakhya, where there can be friendship with the Supreme Lord, but even that friendship is with little bit of awe and reverence. So any example of that? We see the example of Arjuna, the example of Uddhava. Their relationship with Krishna is one of Sakhya, but there is a little bit of awe and reverence. So Arjuna, even though he treats Krishna, hey Yadav, hey Sakhe, he calls him like a friend, he makes fun of Krishna, he treats him like an equal sometimes. Still, at the appropriate time, he says, शिष्यस्ते हम साधिमान त्वाम प्रपन्ना. बाबा तुम मेरा गुरु है, तुम बताओ क्या करना है, मेरे को तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा. I'm not able to understand what I should do. Now you please tell me what exactly I should do, right? So that awe and reverence is there, even though there is friendship. Even though there is a friendship, there is a awe and reverence. This is called Gaurava Sakhya, which is seen in the Vaikuntha planets to a small extent. Otherwise, Vaikuntha is largely, as we discussed, the Shantaras and the Dasyaras. So this beyond this, beyond the Sakyaras, what is missing in Sakyaras? Increased affection and a feeling of controlling or caring or protecting Krishna. When that feeling is there, that is called vatsalya ras. So what is missing between Sakhya ras and vatsalya? Vatsalya ras, what is missing is increased affection and a feeling of control or a care. I must protect Krishna, otherwise he will fall sick. I must teach him proper values, otherwise he will go to the dogs. I must punish Krishna, otherwise he will keep on forming these bad habits. So if you see the understanding of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, or the elder gopis in Vrindavan, or the elder gopas in Vrindavan, that was a feeling of vatsalya, intense affection for Krishna. There is so much love. The elder gopas and gopis in Vrindavan, they loved Krishna more than their own child also. You know, somewhere secretly in their heart, they were praying that Krishna, why couldn't he be my child, right? And while they loved their own children, but they all loved Krishna more than their own child. This is Vatsalya ras, right? So there is an intense feeling of love, but it is in the mood of controlling. I must control Krishna, varna wo haath se nikal jaye. I must protect Krishna. So when Krishna lifted Govardhan, and when he did all these fantastic achievements, the Gopas, the elderly Gopas would come to Nanda Maharaj, his father, foster father, his father. He would come, and they would say that तेरा लल्ला है ना, ये कृष्णा कुछ अलग है भाई, वो कुछ स्पेशल है, खास है ये बंदा. He is not like an ordinary child. There's something extraordinary about it. I think what Garga Muni had predicted, that is true. You know, he is Vishnu. He is not some ordinary child. And Nanda Maharaj, in the mood of Vatsalya, right, which is the mood of parental love, deep affection, where you're not able to see anything else. You just see that this is my child. I have to take care of him. He would mock. He say, "You're talking of this one, Gopal? ये तो मतलब when there is little thunder and lightning, वो आके यशोदा के पल्लू में छुप जाता है. क्या बात कर रहे हो तुम? He is Vishnu. कुछ भी. He is not Vishnu. He is just our child. हाँ ठीक है, maybe Lord Vishnu has given some special benediction, therefore he's able to do all these things. He is not Vishnu. He is our child." And that was the mood that the elderly Gopas, Gopis, and Mother Yashoda had of pure love for Krishna and taking care of him, right? So when he was being attacked, actually we'll discuss Vatsalya ras next time. Maybe next time we'll talk a little bit about Vatsalya ras. I won't steal the thunder of next time. Next time we'll discuss about Vatsalya ras. So beyond this, what is missing in Vatsalya ras? Complete freedom. Complete freedom is missing in Vatsalya ras, and that is what is available in Madhurya ras. Madhurya ras mein there are no restrictions. Everything that is lacking in other rasas is completely manifest in the Madhurya ras, and there is complete surrender for the pleasure of Krishna. So we will not get into this. As I said, it is too esoteric, too high beyond our understanding, and we are not so purified that we can talk about these things, but they are mentioned in the Krishna book. And when we feel we are sufficiently purified, or not purified, we'll never be really purified, but when we feel, in the mood of understanding, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, when we read through the Bhagavatam, then in the course of that we can come to the 10th canto, and the Skand mein there are those 5 chapters which talk about the Ras Leela of the Lord. Then if we read, we can understand. Once you understand who is Krishna, then you can understand the Ras Leela in its correct spirit. So these are the 5 rasas. So let us talk a little bit about the Sakhya ras, as it is mentioned in this purport, that these sakhas, there are 3 types of sakhas. It is called uh, 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 Priya Sakha, Narma Sakha, something. I forget. I'm not able to remember the exact name of those rasas. Yeah, Narma Sakha, Priya Narma Sakha, and Ashta Sakha. So these 3 types of sakhas are there. So they were rishis and yogis in their previous lives. They're not ordinary souls who just chance se Vrindavan mein paida ho gaye. At the same time, they were just in the right place at the right time. There is nothing that happens by chance. Nothing. Everything, every experience we have, every circumstance that we come up against in our lives, every one of them is happening clearly by the arrangement of either material nature or the Supreme Lord Himself. So, if you are a devotee, then Krishna will arrange things in your life, circumstances, situations. But if you're not a devotee, then Maya will be kicking you like a football, from one corner of the field to the other corner of the field. You'll just be kicked. You think you are a football, everyone, the whole eyes, everyone is watching you, right? You feel like you're a footballer, very powerful, and the commentator saying, "Oh, now the ball has been passed to so and so, goal," right? So the ball is the center of attention till the goal is kicked. And who is kicking? It is the players who are kicking. Who is the player? The player is Maya. Maya is kicking us like a football from one corner of the field to the other corner of the field. And we feel we are center of attraction. We are not. We're just being kicked by Maya. But in the case of a devotee, the Supreme Lord Himself, He arranges everything. So the people, when the Lord comes, when He says that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati, right? He says that when I come, whenever Krishna comes, He comes along with His associates. तो पहले ही setting हो जाता है. So the people who were there in Vrindavan at that time, they were rishis and yogis in many previous births, and after many pious births, they gained the association of the Lord and they could become gopas. So they are not some ordinary souls who just happen to be there in the right place at the right time. They are actually placed there because they are purified enough to associate directly with Krishna as equals, because that is their rasa, right? So let us understand a little bit about what is this Sakhya ras. So these gopas, those who were the friends of Krishna, who would, who along with Krishna, what would they do daily? They would get up, they would, have their breakfast, whatever, and they would quickly leave for the forest with Krishna, taking all the calves and later on the cows for pasturing in the forests of Vrindavan, in Govardhan, and all these places. So, what is being mentioned here is that as the Sakhya ras demands, right, the rasa demands, they never cared to know who Krishna was. ऐसा अद्भुत काम कैसा करता है ये व्यक्ति? How he is able to kill such a big demoness like Putana? How he is able to go between these two Yamalarjun trees, which are, maybe 100 feet high, and if they come crashing down and nothing happens to him? ये कैसा, how is it possible? कैसे possible है? मतलब, if you saw a child doing it, you say, ये क्या है? This is gifted, right? But if you see someone doing something like this, you'll say it's not gifted also, this is extraordinary. But they were not able to see it. उनको वो extraordinary लगता ही नहीं है. They never cared to think who is this Krishna, right? They just played with him as a most intimate and lovable friend. That's it. They saw Krishna. Oh, he is so wonderful. Yeah, such a pleasure to just be like, if you see, even in friendship, if you go back to your childhood, you would have had someone in your group, who was always the fun person. Everyone, सब लोग उसके इर्द गिर्द मंडराते हैं. There'll be one person who everyone kind of, surrounds and stand. He's like the center, he or she is the center of attraction. And everyone is, just kind of looking at that person and hoping that that person looks at me, hota hai ye. Even amongst friends this happens, right? Where if there's one person who's extremely popular in the group, everyone is looking at them and everyone is somewhere hoping ki yaar meri taraf dekhna chahiye. This is what used to happen in the Supreme Personality of Godhead's personality. His personality was such, Krishna's personality was such, that he's all attractive. Sarva akarshayati iti Krishna. Krishna is all attractive. He's so beautiful, he's so all attractive that the Gopa friends could not take their eyes off him. He was just like a magnet. He was just attracting them by his beauty, by his smiles, by his charming activities. He's just winning their hearts. So all these sakhas, they would just be around him. Some who were younger than him in age, the sakhas who went with Krishna, the one who were younger, what would they do? They would serve him, or they would assist Mother Yashoda, like I said earlier, right? So there is one type of Gopas who are younger than Krishna, who assist him, who serve him. Then there are those who are slightly elder than Krishna. So Balaram is in the position of elder than Krishna. So such elder Gopas, they also had friendship, but in a little bit of a vatsalya, a little bit of a controlling mood, little bit of a taking care of him mood, in a protective mood. So Mother Yashoda, she would tell a few Gopas that Baba, you please watch over Krishna. बहुत नटखट है वो, कुछ मेरा बात सुनता नहीं है, जाके क्या मट्टी खाता है, ये करता है, वो करता है, जरा आप ध्यान रखो ना उसके ऊपर. Please take care of him. Yeah, don't worry, we will take, don't worry, right? So this is the second category. One is those who are younger, who want to serve him, elder, who also want to serve him, but in the mood of protecting him. And then there are those who are called the Samavayask. Samavayask means similar in age, right? So similar in age are Sridama, Sudama, and Madhu Mangal, and all these people. They are like of the same age as Krishna. Okay, same. उनका जो intimacy है with Krishna is they don't consider him only as anything. वो अपना कृष्णा है यार, ठीक है, मतलब क्या थोड़ा okay, he's very lovable, he's very beautiful, he's very wonderful, but अपना कृष्णा है यार, तो अपना है क्या मतलब, what is the big deal? Like I'll just it's a very mundane horrible example, but I'm just giving it to you. One of my classmates from school, okay, my school, he was with me from nursery all the way to 10th standard. He is a member of parliament. He's an MP, okay, where in Orissa. His name is Nitesh Deb. Okay, you can check him up also. The guy called Nitesh Deb. He is my classmate, okay. And we have a WhatsApp group, like all school people have made WhatsApp group. We have a WhatsApp group. उस WhatsApp group में वो बीच बीच में फोटो डालता है that today I met Piyush Goyal, today I met honorary speaker. He sends photos and अलग अलग भेजता है वो. Nobody takes him seriously. वो अपना नितेश है यार, क्या उसका क्या मतलब, क्या कितना इंपॉर्टेंस देंगे उसको, right? Everyone takes him very lightly. This is Sakyaras. This is Sakyaras in practical understanding. You understand that though he is an MP, he is among the 543 people chosen to govern this nation, the 543 top citizens, so to say, of this country. He's one of them. But for us, he's one of us. So the 50 people on the group, कोई उसको ऐसा कुछ अरे नितेश सर जी प्लीज आप हमारे ग्रुप में आए, हमारी शोभा बढ़ गई, कुछ नहीं. Everyone treats him like an equal, right? This is Sakyaras. This is practically Sakyaras friendship, where they see him as equals. Like this, they would play games with him. So they would go to the forest, and in the forest they would play games. What kind of games? any kind of games. They would fight, they would wrestle, they would, get into wrestling matches. Shidama would wrestle with Krishna, Stoka Krishna would wrestle with Balram, and they would have all kinds of wonderful fighting matches like that. It was not like fighting in a fighting kind of way. They were having fun. They were all just laughing and having great fun. You can imagine Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom everyone is worshipping with great awe and reverence. Here they are fighting with him. They're wrestling with him. Right? So it's a very different level, very esoteric level. Then, if he went ahead to see some specific place, so he's already gone some distance. The Gopal would say, "Chalo, we'll catch him. Yeah, I will catch Krishna first. No, I will touch him first. I will hold him first." So they are all racing towards Krishna. Look at the mood. They are completely Krishna conscious. Their whole existence is completely Krishna conscious, right? So in the different games they would play, sometimes they would make teams. Okay, so one side is Krishna's side, one side is Balram's side. They would make two teams, and there would be very intense fighting amongst those teams, or intense competition on some game, ball game or wrestling game or whatever games they were playing. And in that competition, one team would win, and the team that won had the that you had to carry the other team on your shoulder, अपने shoulder पे बिठा के उनको घुमा के लाओ. So this was the punishment if you lose the game. And many times Krishna's party used to lose. And when they lost, they had to carry the other side on the shoulder. You can imagine someone sitting on Krishna's shoulder, chal mere ghode, tick, 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 chal mere ghode, tick, tick, tick. And they're making Krishna, run from one portion of the forest to another portion of the forest while sitting on his shoulder. Can you imagine? Right? We cannot even imagine. It's too elevated and understanding for us to even imagine that the Supreme Lord, which is why Brahma got bewildered, right? This Brahma Vimohan Leela, why it happened? Because Brahma got bewildered. He couldn't understand. ये क्या चल क्या रहा है ये? This is Supreme Lord. How is it possible? जूठन खा रहे हैं उनका. ये क्या है? How is it possible? Right? So this is that Sakhya. It has gone beyond any feeling of awe and reverence that exists in dasya. That is why someone who is in dasya cannot understand Sakhya. So ये क्या कर रहे हैं? What is this? ये भगवान है. भगवान के साथ ऐसा कोई बिहेव करता है क्या? हाँ, भगवान को जाके पीछे से टपली मारेंगे क्या? कोई करेगा क्या ऐसे? They cannot understand. It is way beyond, right? So in this playing pastime, there are two pastimes I want to tell related to the playing pastime. Once what happened was, the boys had all gone out. This is there in Krishna book. So all the boys had gone out to play, and lunch time was approaching. And as lunch time was approaching, Mother Yashoda told Rohini, the mother of Balram, that why don't you go and just call Krishna Balram? What time हो रहा है खेलने के लिए? वो लोग वापस ही नहीं आ रहे. So why don't you just go? So Mother Rohini goes and she calls Krishna Balram, chalo, lunch ka time ho gaya. And like you see, any children, if they're playing intensely. Mother calls, पहली बार में कोई नहीं आता. So Rohini called, and the Krishna Balram, they said, अरे यार अभी तो मजा आ रहा है खेलने का, अभी कहाँ हम लोग आएंगे? नहीं, we're not coming. So they didn't come. Then Rohini goes and tells Yashoda that नहीं, वो लोग नहीं मान रहे, नहीं आ रहे. So now Yashoda mother says, okay, chalo, I'll go and call him. Just by thinking I'll go and call Krishna, she is so much in ecstasy. She goes and she starts calling, Krishna. She tells him, Krishna, Nanda Maharaj, your father Nanda, he is waiting for you. He will not honor prasad till you come. So you please come. So Krishna, Balram, they फिर नहीं रहे. Papa Nanda Maharaj is waiting. ये तो बराबर नहीं है. So I think हम लोग चलते हैं. So they start walking away from the playing place. So when they are walking away, the Gopas say कि यार अभी तो मजा आ रहा था. अभी तो गेम का इंटेंसिटी बढ़ रहा है और तुम ऐसे डर के भाग गए. मम्मी ने बुलाया तो चले गए. ये क्या है बस? ऐसा थोड़ी allowed है. You're not allowed to just walk away like this. So they threatened Krishna that if you go now, we will not play with you. Actually, this happened the first time when Rohini called. They threatened Krishna that abhi chala gaya na, तो हम तेरे साथ खेलेंगे नहीं, right? We will not play with you. And Krishna became very fearful. They won't play with me. फिर क्या कैसे मजा आएगा? How I will spend my time, you know? So even Supreme Lord wants to do time pass. It's not just us. Even the Supreme Lord wants to pass his time, but his passing of time is called pastimes, the leelas. So he was afraid that नहीं, अरे मेरा खेल खराब हो जाएगा, तो मैं कैसे, you know? So he says no, I'll not go. And second time Yashoda Mataji comes to call him. Then he goes. The Gopa still try to convince him कि नहीं, अरे कैसा तू जा रहा है? तो ऐसे थोड़ी है, allowed नहीं है ये. Yashoda Mai then chastises them. She chastises them. Hey, you don't understand? She chastises Krishna first. देख कितना गंदा हो गया है. See how dirty you are. You're looking like the son of a beggar. You know, so dirty you are. Like in this shape, you're going to come in front of your father. Father is waiting for you for prasad, and you are playing over here. Chalo. And she chastises all the boys. And then all the boys say, okay, ja, bhai, ja. You know. So this is the sweetness. This is the sweetness. This is the intimacy. So you see, you know, vatsalya prevails over even Sakhya because there is a feeling of control. There is a feeling that protection. That if I don't, ये लड़का ना ये खेलते रहेगा पूरा दिन. मेरे को इसको ठीक करना पड़ेगा. Right? So this is the mood. So once like this, so when they were playing, she tried to take them away, and this is how the Gopas reacted. Another time, it was Krishna's birthday, and you know, I think this was Krishna's birthday. Another time, Krishna was, you know, getting ready in the morning. Yashoda Mai used to very beautifully decorate him. Again, we'll get into details next time, hopefully. But she used to decorate him very beautifully. And while she's decorating him, बाहर से दोस्त लोग, जैसे होता है ना, हमारे टाइम में भी बचपन में ऐसे होता था कि नीचे से बच्चे लोग बुला रहे हैं, ए चल आजा क्रिकेट खेलते, चल आजा, अरे we already started, टीम बन गया, चल. And you know, and you are like, boss, चलो मेरे को निकलना है. And mother is saying, रुक जा, wait, मैं अभी तक मुकुट बराबर नहीं किया है, रुक जा, एक मिनट, let me arrange the peacock feather nicely. So she, with great love and you know, with so much, she has so much affection for Krishna that she wants to make him perfect. And Krishna said, छोड़ो ये perfection, मेरे दोस्त लोग. And वहां पे दोस्त लोग बोल रहे थे, कृष्ण तो अभी नहीं आया ना, तो आज हम तेरे साथ नहीं खेलेंगे. आज के बाद हम लोग तेरे साथ नहीं खेलेंगे. Talmar, he's like, you know, getting very agitated. अरे बाबा, अरे छोड़ो मैया, leave me. They'll not play with me. तुम ये परफेक्शन करने के चक्कर में वो लोग मेरे साथ खेलेंगे नहीं. And they are वहां से वो प्रेशर डाल रहे हैं यहाँ से मदर यशोदा. And पिस कौन रहे बीच में? भोक्ताराम यज्ञ तपसाम सर्वलोक महेश्वरम सूरजम सर्वभूतानाम ज्ञात्वा माम शांति मिर्ची. That person is getting pisod. He's getting ground. He's getting pulled by two opposing forces of love. One is the love of the Gopas, the Sakhya ras, and one is the force of vatsalya ras. And the Supreme Lord is very happy. He's very happy like this to be in bewilderment. कि मैं किसका side लूं? Even Supreme Lord gets bewildered. Right? This is the highly esoteric understanding of Sakhya. So like this, they would threaten him that, you know, if you don't come, then हम तुमको तेरे साथ खेलेंगे नहीं. Then, you know, when they would sit together, I'll just take another 10 minutes. I'll try and finish quickly. There's some beautiful stories I want to just share with you. So they would sit together for prasad. Those who want to leave can leave. If you want to move to Maharaj's lecture, another 5-6 minutes, it will start, I suppose. So when, you know, they would go and, you know, after they started going to the, you know, forest for taking the calves, in lunchtime, mothers would give them a dabba. You know, they would give them some, you know, tiffin. So in the lunchtime, they would all keep Krishna in the center, and they would all sit around him like the whorls of a lotus. Lotus का अलग अलग जैसे ऐसा layers रहता है ना, वैसा in circles they would sit around him. And each one of the Gopas would be looking at Krishna in the eye with so much love and so much affection, so much intimacy. There was friendship, but just love Krishna so much. And their experience was that Krishna was looking back at them only. like we see, when you look at certain paintings, and certain paintings, आप किसी भी एंगल से उस पेंटिंग को देखो, आपको लगता है वो आप मेरे को ही देख रहे हैं. The painter is so expertly painted it, and you see from any angle, you feel that the eyes are following you. The Supreme Lord, he is unlimited, right? He's not limited like you and me. He's unlimited. He can have unlimited reciprocation with unlimited living entities individually. Right? हमारे सामने तीन लोग आ गए, तो we find it difficult sometimes. After lecture, someone comes and asks question. 2-3 people come and stand. One person is asking the question, and other two are waiting. They are fidgeting कि अरे इनका कब खत्म होगा, ये खत्म ही नहीं हो रहा है, right? But and the speaker is wondering कि यार ये कैसे खत्म करो, ये बहुत लंबा खींच रहा है, and the other two are still waiting. But Krishna is so unlimited. He can answer all three questions at the same time, and each one feels को खाली मेरा question answer कर, तो सिर्फ मेरे से बात कर रहे हैं. Right? So this is how they would all sit in a circle around Krishna, and each one would get the feeling that Krishna is reciprocating with me alone. They would offer their dabba. See, Krishna, my mother has made today, this special sabji. See, today my mother has made this special chaat. See, my mother has made this very sweet, very nice lassi. Why don't you try this? So all of them would offer something or the other to Krishna, right? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakta prayachati tadaham bhakti rupartam ashnami pratatmana. Krishna says in Gita that if someone offers me with love and devotion a fruit, a flower, a leaf, or water, I shall accept it. This is the mood in which Krishna accepts. He's very, very, very loving towards his devotees. They would offer his dabbas, and Krishna would taste. Sometimes they would make fun of him, right? जैसे friends में ragging बहुत होता है, right? This is all imitation of spiritual activities from the spiritual world. Like, once what happened was, they told one of the Gopas came to Krishna. Krishna, today my mother has given something very, very special. बहुत अच्छा. Krishna became excited. अरे बताओ यार क्या है, मेरे को भी चाहिए, मेरे को देना थोड़ा टेस्ट करने के लिए. He said, okay, I'll give you. It's a surprise. You have to close your eyes. So Krishna, you please close your eyes. So Krishna said, okay, I'll close my eyes. And Krishna closed his eyes. And after Krishna closed his eyes, they said, now you open your mouth. Open your mouth. And they brought something near his nose, and he was smelling some very nice fragrance was coming. A very sweet fragrance. He said, kya hai, dena jara. So they put it into his mouth, and Krishna starts biting it. As he starts chewing it, a very horrible taste comes in his mouth. And he opens his mouth, what is this? What is this? And he sees they have put a flower into his mouth. Okay. So they put that flower near his nose so that he smells it and it smells sweet, and he feels maybe something nice, something special has been given by my friend. And then when he bites it, see, flowers smell nice, but they don't taste nice, not necessarily, right? So they started tasting it. He said, oh, it's horrible. He spat it. I said, what is this? This is a flower. And they're all having a hearty laugh. We made a fool of you, Krishna. We made a fool of you. So this is the loving, relationship they had. Once, after some game that they were playing, Krishna saw that a section of these gopas, they were all laughing. So he saw, "Kyun has rahe ye log?" And then he saw they are looking at him, pointing at him, and they are laughing. Now this can happen to anyone, right? बच्चों में ये होता है, कोई एक दूसरे को देख के हंसते रहते हैं. And these boys were looking at Krishna and they were laughing. And Krishna was getting very agitated. He said, "Kyun has rahe?" They went up to him. They asked him. Krishna went up to them and asked them that, why are you laughing? They said, "No, we will not tell you." Yeah, please tell me now why you're laughing. Please. And then they will not tell you. But then he's like somehow convinced them. Then please tell me. And no, we're just wondering. Ki, Balram ji is so fair. Mother Yashoda is fair. Nanda Maharaj is fair. Balram ji is fair. तुम इतने कैसे काले हो गए? How you are so dark? So Krishna, he said, यार मैंने तो ऐसा कभी सोचा नहीं. I never thought of this. Good point actually. I it never struck me that why am I so dark? And they said maybe you are not the son of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. What we have heard one story that there was a hollow tree. In that hollow of the tree, when Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda were passing from there, they heard a child crying inside in the hollow of the tree. So they went and looked inside and they found one very dark colored child. They were going to go away, but they saw the child crying piteously and there was no one else around. तो उनको थोड़ा दया आ गई, उसी से तुमको उठा लिया और वो तुम हो, you are that person. You're not the son of Yashoda and Nandama. Krishna, when he hears this, he's devastated. He's the Supreme Lord. He knows, he's all knowing. Sarvasya chaham riti sannivishto. But still, in these pastimes, because of the curtain of Yogamaya, by the Lord's will, Yogamaya covers even Krishna. And he forgets. And he gets very agitated. He goes to Yashoda Mai and he's crying and crying and crying. Yashoda Mai asks him, "Kya hua beta? Batao, kyun ro rahe ho?" He is not willing to tell her only. बता ही नहीं रहे क्या है, रोते जा रहे, रोते रहे, रोते जा रहे. Then finally she says, "Okay, ये लगता है मेरे, it is beyond my level." So she calls Nanda Maharaj. She says, "Nanda Maharaj, you please deal with him. Baba, कितना रो रहा है, सुन ही नहीं रही मेरी बात." So Nanda Maharaj को पूछते हैं, Nanda Maharaj पूछते हैं, "क्या हुआ बेटा? What happened?" So then Krishna explains to me, "ऐसा ऐसा हो गया. They're all laughing at me. I am not your son." So am I not your son actually? And Nanda Maharaj said, "No, no. Who told you? Of course you are my son. क्या बात कर रहे हैं? This is how I am so dark. Balramji, Dauji is so fair. How I am so dark?" He says, "No, because Balramji, so Krishna is a baby at that, he's a small child, right? And small child gets, कोई भी छोटा चीज बोलते तो मान लेते हैं." So he says, "No, you understand. Balramji, he was born at noon time. 12 बजे पैदा हुए थे सुबह, in the noon time he was born. That is why he's so fair. Sun was out fully, so he's so fair. You were born at midnight, Lalla. Therefore, you are so dark. Because you were born in the darkness, so you are dark." So like that. So Krishna was convinced by that. Then, even if sometimes they would see Krishna killing big, big demons, right? So I'll not get into it. Some of these pastimes are described in the further part of the purport. He killed Aghasur, Bakasur, and so many demons. Since we don't have time, I'll not get into it. But they would see him defeating these demons. Or they would see him lifting Govardhan Hill. Itna bada parvat utha liya. But by the influence of that same Yogamaya, you very quickly dismiss it. ठीक है, चलो ये तो हम भी कर सकते हैं. You will, like Madhu Mangal would say that actually it is not Krishna's finger. You feel Krishna is lifting this Govardhan. आप सबको लग रहा है कि ये कृष्णा ने उठाया है. ये मेरे ब्रह्म तेजस की वजह से. I am Brahmana. I have got so much tejas. Because of my tejas, he has lifted. अगर मैं हट जाऊं, मेरा तेजस कम करूं, माउंटेन नीचे आ जाएगा. We'll all be crushed because of me. And all the other gopas were holding sticks, thinking कि थोड़ा Krishna was getting tired, थोड़ा उनको support करते हैं. बेचारा थक गया होगा, काफी टाइम से पकड़ के रखा है. This is that rasa that they had, right? They would not even see him doing these extraordinary things. They would not think. They would think कि हम भी कर सकते हैं, उसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात. But the important thing, and I'll end with this beautiful pastime. The important thing was they loved him so much, they simply couldn't get him out of their mind. अपने हृदय से, अपने मन से भगवान को एक क्षण के लिए भी वो निकाल नहीं पाते. That is what is mentioned in the purport, right? That they couldn't get him out of the mind even in the evening. So evening after going home, they would be eagerly waiting for the next day. They would say that when will, अरे यार ये कब ये सूर्यास्त हो गया और कब ये सूर्योदय होगा? When will it happen? They are waiting. Again I will see Krishna. How many hours? Your son is not coming up only. They get very frustrated by this. So once it is described, so there's this book written by one devotee called Vrindavan Diaries. So I'm quoting the story from that. It's called Chitrapat Leela. Very beautiful story. Describing the love that the Gopas have for Krishna. So this Shridama is the elder brother of Srimati Radharani, right? And he was blessed by Narada that he would be the best friend of Krishna. So the Shridama is one of those, what we call Samavayask, same age, okay? And they see Krishna as equal. He would fight with Krishna. He would have fun with Krishna. He would make fun of him. All that. Very, very close friend of Krishna. So once he went home in the night, And like all the other Gopas, he's wondering ki, "Arey, subah kab hogi, subah kab?" And he was unable to sleep the whole night. He was crying the whole night in separation from Krishna. He was unable to tolerate the separation. So next morning he goes to Krishna and he tells Krishna, "Krishna, I can't. This is too much. I simply cannot bear this separation from you. I will die. मैं मर जाऊंगा, मेरे से नहीं हो रहा, मैं आपके बगैर इतने घंटे रह ही नहीं सकता। युगायतम निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रावृषायतम युगायतम युगायतम what is it? युगायतम निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रविशायतम शून्यायतम जगत सर्वम गोविंद विदेहेन में." So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Shikshashtakam that Yugaitam Nimishena, Nimisha, one small fraction of time feels like one yuga. Why? Govinda Virehenamai. In the separation from Lord Govinda, in the separation from Lord Krishna. So understand, this is the exalted sentiment of a pure devotee. We can't understand it. We can just kind of accept it somewhere. This is the sentiment of the supreme of this greatest devotee of the Lord. So he's telling Krishna, when Krishna tells him, "I'll die in your separation," पहला Krishna makes fun of him. He teases him, "अरे क्या यार, कुछ भी बात करते हैं, ऐसा थोड़ी, कुछ नहीं होएगा तेरे को, कुछ नहीं होएगा." And Sridhama tells him that, "बाबा तू समझ, मैं मजाक नहीं कर रहा हूँ. Whole night I've been crying and I've been in tremendous pain. I will die in your separation. Do something. I cannot tolerate this anymore. It's too much." So Krishna understands that ये तो बात serious लग रही है, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है इसमें. So he goes to Mother Yashoda and he approaches Yashoda and he gets idea. He says, "Idea, I'll make one picture of myself and I'll give that as a gift to Sridhama. So at least when he's missing me, he can see that picture and he'll feel little satisfied." So he goes to Mother Yashoda and tells Mother Yashoda, "Can you please make a picture of me? Can you make a picture bana do?" So when he says this, Yashoda Mai makes a joke. She says, "Acha, tera picture mein kya? You want a picture of you? तेरी पिक्चर में क्या स्पेशल है? जस्ट टेक एक सफेद पेपर लो, थोड़ा काला ब्रश लेके थोड़ा स्ट्रोक्स बनाओ, बन गया तुम्हारा पिक्चर, क्या बड़ी बात है?" राइट? सो शी मेक्स फन ऑफ हिम लाइक दैट. एंड कृष्णा सेज कि यहाँ पे मेरे दोस्त की जान जा रही है और आपको मजाक सोच रहे हैं. यू आर थिंकिंग ऑफ फन, यू आर मेकिंग फन लाइक दिस. ऐसा थोड़ी होता है. So then she realizes, okay, looks like there is something serious. So then she calls from her village. There's a gopi called Chitrasakhi. Chitrasakhi was a beautiful painter. She calls her and she says, she explains the whole story कि ऐसा ऐसा श्रीदामा ने ऐसा बोला, separation from Krishna, तो एक पिक्चर बना के, तस्वीर बना के दो कृष्णा का, और वो तस्वीर हम लोग श्रीदामा को देंगे. So she gives that picture to, she tells that gives that service to Chitrasakhi, and Chitrasakhi says, "Okay, I'll make a picture." So she collects all her materials. She goes and sits in one place, and she thinks कि एक कोई तो pose सोचती हूँ कृष्णा का, and वो pose को मैं paint करूँगी. So as she starts making the picture and thinking of the pose which she will capture, thousands of poses of Krishna start rotating in her mind, like very very fast, all the different poses of Krishna keep rotating through her mind, and she gets completely bewildered. She says, "Baba, ऐसा मेरे mind में घूम रहा है तो मैं कैसा painting बनाऊंगी?" She starts crying. She gets very discouraged. She feels कि यार एक ही service दिया, what a wonderful service Yashoda Mai had given to me to meditate on Krishna and make a painting. I am not able to fix him in my mind. She starts crying, and she goes and confides in another gopi and says that, "This is my duvidha. What do I do? I'm not able to paint Krishna at all." That time, that gopi goes and asks, tells Chitrasakhi that, "Have you confided in Srimati Radharani? Have you taken have you taken her consent?" Satyanash, I've not done this. So then she approaches Srimati Radharani. She explains the whole situation. Ki aapka brother Sridama is burning in separation from Krishna. He's asked to make a picture. Please give your blessings. Srimati, we say Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. She's the controlling person of entire Vrindavan. So she gives her permission. Very happily, she gives her permission to Chitrasakhi. And then Chitrasakhi goes back. She makes the painting. She gives it to Yashoda Mai. Yashoda Mai gives it to Krishna. Krishna gives it to Sri Dama, and then Sri Dama, he is pacified. He feels so happy that okay, at least I have a picture of Krishna. So this is that Sakhya ras. There is a unlimited love for Krishna, but that love for Krishna is not in awe and reverence. It's in a feeling of equality, where they serve Krishna, they give great pleasure to Krishna. He feels more pleasure when someone does these things to him, all this masti with him, all these threats that they give him. He enjoys that much more than even the very reverential, Vedic hymns chanted by Brahma and the demigods. Krishna enjoys this much more. So this is that Sakhya Ras. This is the intimate exchange of the devotees of Raja in full confidence of equality of the Sakhiras. It is not devoid of deep love, it is very deep love. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shrimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari
Hari Hari Bo.
So any quick questions or comments, because I believe the lecture of Maharaj is just started. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
Yes.
आपका लेक्चर इतना अच्छा था, मतलब ऐसा लग रहा था कि आप बोलते ही जाए और हम सुनते जाए.
हरे कृष्णा. थैंक यू माता जी, थैंक यू सो मच. हरे कृष्णा. तो हम लोग यहाँ पे रुक जाएंगे. आप सबका मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ कि आपने ये बड़े ही मेरे रियलाइजेशन से कुछ मीलों मीलों ऊपर वाला टॉपिक है ये, लेकिन फिर भी श्रील प्रभुपाद की कृपा से, बाय द ग्रेस ऑफ श्रील प्रभुपाद, we are able to take these topics and speak about them. So thank you very much. Shrimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. So I'll request Brahme Prabhu to make the announcements. We won't have Kirtan today, so that we can just quickly jump into
Prabhuji.
Radha Swami.
Hare